Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Chelsea Godfather. It's your Chelsea Godfather reporting back to duty. As it turns out today, guys, this is a story I was hoping that would not materialize. I mean, I was planning to make a video today on how and why we should retain Pochettino when all of a sudden, bam, Twitter, lit up with the news that Pochettino has been released, sacked, parted ways, mutual consent, whatever you want to call it. But the bottom line is Pochettino is no longer Chelsea's manager. And for me, I won't say it comes as a total shock, but it's still a bit unexpected for me because it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. It does not make sense to me as a Chelsea fan, given where we are, what happened this season, the type of manager that we have, the type of players that we have. We have a lot of young players. We had the most injuries in the season. More than half of our team was out of most of this season, and yet at the end of the season, we still somehow finished sixth on the back of 5 straight wins. And so, obviously sixth place is not it's not like a target for a club the size of Chelsea, especially after spending over £1 billion over the last two seasons. But again, you have to put everything in context, and the proper context is twofold. Number one, we have a lot of injuries, and number two, we have a lot of inexperienced young players, the likes of Palmer, Jackson, Nani, Mudryk. Caicedo has only played barely 2 seasons in this league. Enzo only played like half a season last year, and then barely half a season this season because he played 6 months with a hernia injury, right? Our defenders, you guys already know. I mean, Gusto is a rookie. Levi Koval pretty much injured almost the whole season. And he's I think he's 20 years old. Badashila, this is his first time in England, and you see that he's been struggling. He's talented, but he's young and he's inexperienced, and it shows. I mean, I'm not even going to mention Fofana and other guys. So the point that I'm trying to make is, we have a whole bunch of young guys, a whole bunch of young players, a whole bunch of injured players. And, this league is increasingly becoming, competitive. Obviously, apart from the fact that City has been winning the league the last 4 straight years. I mean, everything outside the top three, right? Outside the top three, it's pretty much, you can close your eyes, and in any given year, it could be anybody that's going to finish fourth. Right? I mean, mind you, finished eighth from, I think, last year. I believe they finished third last year, right? So, guys. I mean, sixth is not what, we wanted to finish, but given everything that happened, you just have to, reassess and reassessing based on what occurred for Chelsea this season. Sixth place is a positive, and especially given the fact that we finished strong. Now, why did the Todd Bowley group they decide to release Pochettino? And for me, again, I'm just trying to make sense out of it, and I would say that I believe the decision, probably was made sometime between the period when Chelsea went on a fairly bad stretch where we drew 2-2 at home to 10 men Burnley. We went away, drew 2-2 to the worst team in the league, Sheffield. That was a horrible result. And in fact, I mean, I'm gonna put my hand up. That's when I finally lost it and released my one and only Pochettino out video. I'm gonna leave a link above. And I mean, I have my reasons for wanting Poch out at that time. He then seemed to have turned it around a little bit, and then we got just destroyed alive and cooked alive by Arsenal 5-0, and I think that may have been that. I'm thinking that's probably all she wrote for Pochettino. So I'm thinking that's probably when the decision was made, because right, I mean, after that 5-0 loss, all we did was go ahead and draw 2-2 with Aston Villa in a game that we pretty much won, and we were robbed by VAR, and then we won the last 5 games of the season. So pretty much perfect. So that means he was basically fired. He was fired pretty much after right around the Arsenal game, and it is what it is. So now if you look at it from that angle, then what that tells you is that right around the Arsenal game, Chelsea was already looking for a new manager, because you don't just fire a guy, you don't just release a guy without having another guy. And so the obvious question now is, who is the guy? Who is the guy, right? Because normally when you release one guy, then the next guy, steps right in. And right now, we don't know who that guy is, right? There have been names thrown out. One of the most obvious names, not that this is the name that I want, one of the obvious names right now for me seems to be, if you want to add 1 + 1 and equals 2, it will probably be De Zerbi at Brighton, because De Zerbi, everything was all good there, and then all of a sudden, boom, at the end of the season, De Zerbi left the Brighton job, and saying that talking about that he wanted more input in transfers, and he didn't like. I guess he didn't like the way they were sort of selling players and not replacing them. Well, guys, it is what it is. What it is. Because as the fate, as the irony here is that one of the reasons that was given for, I mean, apparently based on the reports on Twitter, is that for Pochettino being released is the fact that apparently that Pochettino wants to have a little more say in the players that we buy, right? So, which makes some kind of sense, but doesn't make too much sense, because when you come into manage Chelsea, you already know that you're not really having that much say. They just bring in the players. They being the Todd Bowleys and the Ebalis. They already have a director of football. They're the ones that do all of the legwork to understand the type of players, the attributes that they're looking at, the age, the skill, all that kind of stuff. They have the whole idea. Whether you agree or not, they have an idea of who they want to come into, which players they want, and what type of players, what type of skill sets they want to bring in, and that's what they're going after, for better or for worse. And the manager has no say for better or for worse. That's just the way this ownership is set up. And so if you're a manager and you jump on the job and you begin to complain about wanting to have an input, then you're probably not going to be on the job for too long. So now I don't know if that's what happened with Pochettino, but that was one of the quote unquote reasons given. So that's why I'm saying it feels kind of odd that De Zerbi, who was talking about that he left Brighton because he didn't have much of an input. Well, if you didn't have an input in Brighton, then why are you coming to Chelsea? Because she's sure as heck not going to have any input here. So there goes the whole De Zerbi link. Then the other manager being mentioned is Mckenna. I mean, I forgot his first name. The manager for Ipswich who managed them. In fairness to him, he did a brilliant job at Ipswich, and they finished second in championship last year and promoted to Premier League. But guys, I mean, Ipswich, with all due respect to McKenna and Ipswich is a long, long way from Chelsea FC. It's a hell of a long way, and we don't have time to be training managers. I mean, we cannot be going backwards. So I don't want to see him. I don't want to see McKenna anywhere near the Chelsea job. He's not ready, right? So I don't even know. Honestly, those are two managers that have been names I've seen thrown out. I mean, apart from the usual other names in terms of Tuchel, I don't even know that that's even a possibility because Tuchel is a hard-headed chap. He's not a long-term manager, right? He's just in and out kind of guy. And that's not we need somebody who's going to be long term, who the owners can work with. For that reason, I don't see Tuchel coming back. The same applies to Jose. They're not going to work with Jose because Jose is a boss. You don't tell him what to do. He tells you how everything is going to go down. So Jose and Tuchel, I'll be shocked if they get signed to be either one becomes the next Chelsea manager. So that question leaves us with then who ends up being the next Chelsea manager. Well, guys, it's we have found ourselves in the proverbial situation of be careful of what you wish for because you just might get it, and it has happened. It has finally happened. All you all fans out there crying and whining all season. Pochettino out, sack, Pochettino, this, that, and the other. And now it has happened. And Pochettino has been out. Let's just hope and pray that the next manager would be, was that former Bayern Munich, manager. I mean, I totally, his name slipped my mind. The young chap. I mean, I totally forgot his name, but let's just Nagelsmann, yeah, Nagelsmann. Let's just hope and pray. Let's just hope and pray that Julian Nagelsmann is brought in as the next manager, young manager who's definitely going to look like he going to fit in with the Todd Bowley model. That's the only manager that I'll say, okay, this makes sense. God bless you, Mr. Tony and Mr. Bowley and Co. You all have done a heck of a job. That's the only guy. But apart from that, it's just I don't know. I don't have any positive feelings about this firing. Guys, how do y'all feel about this? Please leave your comments below. Share this video, like this video, and subscribe to my channel. Take care. God bless you all. Peace.